Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us guidance and mercy so we can do this proposal examination. Also, salawat and salam delivered to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by reciting Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. The Honorable our proposal examiner, Mr. Nwardi MED. My name is Khaira Akila Arifin. In this occasion, I would like to explain about my research proposal entitled Brainstorming Technique, its effect on students' descriptive text writing ability at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. Okay, we start our explanation, my explanation from the chapter 1 about background of the problem. From the 4 basic components, writing, speaking, listening, and reading, in learning English, writing is considered by most students as a complex skill that must consider and think through many ideas, thoughts, and feelings into a good writing to read. It is also supported by Richards and Renandia at 2002, page 303, which stated that writing is the most difficult skill for non-mother tongue learners to be mastered. Based on the preliminary observation the researcher did in SMP Negeri 2 Rengat, the researcher found that most of the students' English skills were relatively low, especially in writing skills. The problems the students faced are about how to generate ideas, the grammatical features, and the organization of the paragraphs, and also they have slow learning motivations. The phenomena from this research is the first, when they started to write, they cannot implement the ideas well before they really develop it into sentences and then become the paragraphs. The second, at the time of writing, there will be found a lot of errors in their grammar. And then the third, they also have difficulty in compiling the sentences that have been made. Sometimes they don't know how to put the main idea and supporting details correctly, so the sentences they make seem confusing. They are confused in developing their ideas, and then some even not have any idea at all. And then the last, this becomes more serious if we relate it to the problems experienced by students, namely regarding the techniques and learning media as well as low learning motivations. The limitation of the media and the monotonous learning system in school will also trigger boredom and unmotivated students in the teaching and learning process. Based on the phenomena, it is important to find a way to convince students that writing is not difficult to do. One way is to find interesting techniques for students to motivate them to write. As a right for students to explore more ideas and improve their writing skill, the researcher found one technique that considers to make this happen, called brainstorming technique. As stated by Brown at 2001, page 184, brainstorming is a kind of technique that has a goal of helping someone begin their thinking process. And then we come to the limitation of this research. The researcher decided to limit the study on the brainstorming technique and its effect on students' descriptive writing ability, especially at 8th grade student of SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. And then follows with the formulation of the problem. The first is about how is the student's descriptive writing ability taught without using brainstorming technique at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. And then the second, about how is the student's descriptive writing ability taught by using brainstorming technique at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. And then the third, is there any significant difference of the student's writing descriptive text taught by using and without using brainstorming technique at the 8th grade students of SMP Negeri 2 Rengat? And the last, is there any significant effect of using brainstorming technique on students writing descriptive text at the 8th grade students of SMP Negeri 2 Rengat? And then for the objective of the research, the first is to know the student's descriptive writing ability taught without using brainstorming technique at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. And then the second, to know the student's descriptive writing ability taught by using brainstorming technique at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. And then the third, to know whether there was any significant difference of the student's writing descriptive text taught by using and without using brainstorming technique at the 8th grade student of SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. And then the last, to know whether there was any significant effect of using brainstorming technique on students writing descriptive text at the 8th grade students of SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. The really fun research of this study is the first research by Fildayanti Wahyuni Hasibuan in 2019, and then the second a research by Oki Wandira in the 2021, and then the third Nur Hasanah Sidabalok and Siti Aisyah Ginting at 2012. And then we come to the operational concept. Operational concept, which is used to avoid misunderstanding and misinterpreting in scientific study. Therefore, this research consists of two variables. X variable is the used brainstorming technique in teaching writing, and the Y variable is the student's writing ability, especially in descriptive text. And the method of this research is used quasi-experimental research. In quasi-experiments, the investigator uses control and experimental groups but doesn't randomly assign participants to groups. This from Creswell at 2016. The location and time of the research. This research was conducted at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. It is located at Sultan Street, Kampung Dagang Rengat. And the time of the research had started on May 2022. For the subject and object of the research, the subject of this research is the 8th grade students of SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. The object of this research is the effect of brainstorming technique on students' descriptive writing ability. For the population and sample, the total population of 8th grade at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat are 187 students. And then for the sample, the researcher decided to choose two classes in this research that are 8E and 8F. The total of the sample is 62 students. And then the technique of data collection. In this study, to obtain data, the researcher used a task as a research instrument at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. And the technique of data analysis, the data analyzed by using t-test, independent sample t-test, from SPSS 21 version. The independent sample t-test was used to find out the significant effect of brainstorming technique on students' ability in writing descriptive text at SMP Negeri 2 Rengat. That's all from my presentation of proposal examination. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.